Hey, welcome. My name is Sean, and today we are going to take a look at my pedal board for 2026. This rig is primarily for worship teams, and then also I'm in a cover band. We do weddings, we do corporate events, and then I also use this for some solo acoustic stuff that I do. So this is really a pedal board designed to do anything and everything in as small of a package as possible. So let's take a look. Let's get started with the guitar. This is a Mexican-made Fender Stratocaster. It is specifically a 60s road-worn spec, so it's got the nice, wear on the top here, and the neck is really nice. It's got Tex-Mex pickups in it, which I believe are stock in them. The only thing I've done to this guitar is I moved the volume pot to this middle position, and then converted this tone pot to be a master tone for all three pickups rather than just being for one. It makes it so that I can take the bridge pickup and roll off a little bit of high end if it's getting a little bit too ice picky. So taking a look at the pedal board, this is all based around the HX Stomp. The HX Stomp is doing my amp emulation, it's doing MIDI control for my delay and reverb, and then it is also being a catch-all for any one-off pedals that I might need for a specific song, so I don't have to go buy a pedal for one song. I am using the MIDI Baby 3 by Disaster Area Designs to control it. So this bottom button is just tap tempo. This middle button lets me preset up, and then this top button lets me preset backwards. That way during a set, I don't have to be bending over and scrolling through anything, and it leaves me all three of the foot switches on the Stomp available for whatever I need. So amp-wise, like I said, the HX Stomp is running all of my amps. So primarily I use, this is my main patch. It's just an AC30. It's the normal AC30 Fawn normal, I believe, with the 212 Bluebell cabinet. I'm not running any external IRs, and then it's just a 906 microphone on it. And then I do have a reverb block after the amp just to give it a little bit of space. It's doing just a little bit of room reverb, but nothing crazy. So without any drive or compression, here is just the guitar into the amp. So nothing crazy. And then the first pedal that we hit is this Polytune 2 Mini by TC Electronic. This is probably my favorite pedal because it is so small and it's so bright. It's really easy to read if you're inside or if we're playing outside somewhere. The wedding band that I'm in, I feel like a lot of times we end up playing outside more than we play inside. And so seeing a tuner in the sun is always a struggle. And with the Polytune pedal, I have never had an issue with it. So love that pedal. Out of that, we go into the SP Comp by Exotic Effects. I leave this compressor on all the time. It's doing just a little bit of compression. It's nothing crazy. So it's on the low compression setting, and then the blend control is just past halfway. So that going into the AC30 sounds like this. That compressor, more than anything, just really helps to tame some dynamics. If I get excited in a set, or if I go to play really lightly, it just kind of helps mellow out all of the overall level. That way, whoever's mixing, I'm not jumping way up ahead of somebody or getting lost in a mix because I'm playing lightly. It just makes it a little bit more stable throughout the whole night. Out of the compressor, then we go into the drive section. So I've got two overdrive pedals. However, it's kind of four. So first we hit the AT Plus by JHS pedals. This is my heaviest drive, so that sounds like this. So that's kind of like Marshall in a boxy. Really great for solos. That a lot of fun. Really like that pedal. And what I love about it is it does have a boost. So if you really need to, you know, just crank it into the stratosphere, you so that's a lot of fun. Out of the Andy Timmons pedal, then we go into the D&M Drive by Keeley Electronics. This is a combination overdrive and boost pedal. So I do have the overdrive coming first, and that sounds like this. It's a similar drive level to the JHS pedal. However, I feel like it has just a little bit less low-end body to it, and so it sits a little bit tamer in a mix. Doesn't quite rip your head off as much. So especially in a worship context, I really like it just for the way that it sits. And then it also, like I said, it has this boost side, which that's my lightest overdrive, but it's also the last in my chain because I love the mid focus on it. So when you use any of the other drives pushing into it, you just get this really nice mid-focused kind of tone that helps me step out for a solo or anything like that. So that's that. I use the overdrive side of the D&M drive probably the most out of anything, especially in the worship context. But I'm always stacking drives. The other thing I really like to do is have my drive on and then use the volume of the guitar to clean it up a little bit. So if you roll your volume back just a little bit, then you can get all these really nice in-between sounds without needing a bunch of pedals. So just in those two pedals, it gives me 4 different drives that I can combine, stack, plus the volume control. It really feels like there's not any amount of drive situation that I can't handle with those, so that's great. Out of the D&M drive, then we hit the HX Stomp just on the input. So then that's where it hits the amp and that little bit of reverb that I mentioned. And then it comes out the effects loop of the HX Stomp and goes mono into the DD500 delay by Boss. So this is all my delays. I've got 3 delays that I primarily go through. This first one is a reverse delay. Which is kind of fun, especially for if I'm doing swells or something. Just kind of gives it a little bit of movement in a way that your ear isn't always expecting. This is the standard dotted eighth delay, the typical worship thing. Yeah, we've all heard that. And then I have just a quarter note delay. Usually I use this to just kind of beef up lead lines if they need just a little bit more presence, but I don't want an actual reverb. So this, like, you don't really hear it as you're playing it, but when you stop playing it or if you play it without it, it just gives it a little bit more body and a little bit of thickness that I really enjoy. Then we go stereo out of the DD500 into the RV500. So same kind of thing here. I've got my 3 main reverbs that I use. The first one is a plate, and it's about 1 second. I leave that on for a lot of things. Some of it'll depend on how big the room is that I'm in at the time, and how many other musicians are playing. If it's a really heavy, really dense mix, Sometimes I'll turn that down a little bit, or if I need to fill more space because maybe it's just me and a keys player or me and an acoustic player, then I might dial that up a little bit more just to kind of fill out a little bit of that space. The second reverb that I use is this big hall reverb. So so that's really nice. And then I have this preset's called Swellage, but it's just my attempt at a big sky cloud reverb. So it's doing the octave thing on the top end. And then one thing too that I don't see a lot of people doing, and I think they're sleeping on, is on the HX Stomp. So I have this foot switch is cycling through my presets. So I have it set up for if I hit it, it will go to the next preset, and if I hold it, it will go back a preset. And hopefully you saw I'm sending MIDI program changes to the delay and reverb. But what that means is that as I'm playing, I can hit one switch but so I can hit one switch and change my delay and reverbs really easily. But you don't have to leave the stomp on just snapshot mode. You can run snapshots on a single foot switch, and then you still have your other two foot switches to do whatever you want. So maybe if I had a modulation or like a pitch effect somewhere, you can have those and still run through all three snapshots. And I prefer to have it set so on snapshot 1, when I hit it, it intentionally goes to snapshot 2 instead of the next snapshot, just so I can remember where I'm at. I like the actual visual of where pressing it goes, and then I just know if I hold it, it goes backwards 1. But that's all done through Command Center. That's really easy. I might do a separate video on how to set that up. But that's been super helpful for me. And this board has made it so that I can do pretty much anything. I can play acoustic through this. I can play bass. I can do all the worship stuff. I can do all the cover stuff. So even I can go through on my, for the cover band, if we go to here, so the way that I run this is I will copy my main preset, that AC30, into the next slot that I want that preset on. And then the stomp, I will save the tempo to the stomp patch, which then passes it through the whole signal chain. That way my delays are always in sync. I don't have to tap. Or if our keys player usually runs tracks, if he starts a track faster than I'm ready for, all I have to do is preset up and everything is in sync. My delays are ready to go, my reverb's ready to go, and I don't have to worry about trying to tap dance or anything like that. I can just be ready to play the song. So that's been super helpful. So thanks so much for checking this out. Hopefully it was helpful, and let me know in the comments if you've got any questions or if there's anything you want me to go deeper on.